don't think I got it all right. Apparently, that's what all the kids are doing on TikTok now. The Trump dance is taking off. Also, oh, you can't really see it. There's a giant werewolf behind me. I have a lot of irrational fears, and that werewolf isn't helping with any of them. But this video is about Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols and 50 Cent have both now publicly endorsed Donald Trump. Just going to move this a little bit, and we're going to talk about why and some actually really good points that both of them have made. So I'm going to talk about that. First, let's talk about 50 Cent. So he posted this image on his Instagram today, and this was the caption, "What the F? Vote for Trump, I'm out. F New York, the Knicks never win anyway. I don't care. Trump doesn't like black people. 62%, are you out of your effing mind?" Sorry, I had to put a lot of black boxes in that. Don't agree with everything that he said, but he's absolutely right about the taxes. If you make over $400,000 a year under the Biden tax plan, these are going to be your tax rates in some of these states. California, we already have California and New York already have huge tax rates for the top 1%. But so he says this, and he's right, this is happening. And I look through the comments because I like to see where people are at. And I look through the comments, and a lot of people are saying, well, who cares? Those are the top earners anyway. That's people that make over $400,000. Those are rich people anyway. Well, there's two things about this. The first thing, if you make under $400,000 a year under Biden, your taxes actually are going to go up because they're going to get rid of the Trump tax plan. Now, the Trump tax plan actually put thousands of dollars per year in the hands of a lot of like regular, just middle to lower class working homes. My parents saw it. I saw it. There were huge tax cuts, thousands of dollars a year. Like I think like a few $1,000s per household. And one of the very first things, and Kamala Harris admitted this in the debates, one of the very first things they're going to do under their administration is get rid of the Trump tax plans. So yes, even if you are not in that bracket, your taxes will go up. And with some of the things they want to do, universal health care or Medicare for all, or I don't know, Kamala Harris goes back and forth all the time, so I don't know where they're at right now. But if you're implementing something like that, how do you think you're going to pay for it? You're going to have to tax more to be able to pay for things like that. So yes, your taxes will indeed go up. And the second point about this is, oh, well, it's just the rich people. They have enough anyway. And oh, the rich and the rich. Well, this is what happens. And California, where I live, is probably one of the most progressive states. And we are almost, us amongst a few other states, we are almost the future of progressive America. If you keep going down this progressive path, what's happening to us is going to happen to you. For instance, a lot of our 1% are fleeing the state because our 1%, I believe they take home only 45 cents to the dollar. So they get taxed like crazy, the 1%. And what happens after time is your 1% are starting to get sick and tired of paying that much in taxes and not seeing a big benefit. So they start leaving the state. Like right now, New York City has it, and we have it in California. We're having a mass exodus of a lot of people in general, but also a lot of our 1%. Now, everyone likes to demonize the rich and demonize people that make a lot of money, but you're rich, your top 1% makes up about 50% of your income tax. So when they start leaving, when they're not happy with this tax plan, your taxes are actually going to go up because they have to make up for that 50% of the income tax. How are they going to make that up? Yeah, it sounds great. Let's tax the rich. Let's tax the rich. They have enough to go around. But guess what? They're going to leave. And I'm an actress. I work in the acting industry. And this is why, I've seen it happen here in Los Angeles. That's why Atlanta has a booming acting, or a lot of things are being filmed in Atlanta. They have studios popping up. Louisiana, New Mexico. You have all these different markets where people that used to film here in LA are now going to those different markets. Why? Because of the tax incentives. Taxes are very high here. They get better incentives in those areas. I also want to talk about one more point about taxes before moving on to Johnny Rotten. It was asked during the the town hall with Susanna Guthrie, which was just that was just a huge embarrassment on NBC, and that was absolutely appalling, that whole thing. But one thing she brought up is, well, you cut taxes for corporations. And yeah, that makes when you look on the outside without looking at the nuance and how things actually work out, yeah, you're giving a tax break to all these major corporations. But you know what that tax break did? It caused more businesses to come back to America. I believe it allowed 160,000 jobs because of those tax rates. So when companies have lower tax rates, they come back. And when they come back, when they're in your city or in your state or in your country, when they come back, it creates jobs. It gives people more jobs. The same thing with the lowering the or hiring the minimum wage. I was actually working at a restaurant as a server here in LA when they hired our minimum wage. They hired it by $1, or they increased it by $1. Sorry, that didn't sound very intelligent. They increased our minimum wage by $1. Do you want to know what happened at that exact same time? So they increased our minimum wage as $1. Therefore, the company had to pay us $1 extra. Everything on our menu got more expensive because of that. And I've also heard other small businesses that, maybe they have under 50 employees, and due to the increase in minimum wage, they actually had to let a few employees go in order to maintain business. So yes, a lot of these things sound good. It's tax the rich. They have the money. Give the money to the poor. It has consequences, and this is one of them. Your rich people start leaving those states, and then eventually you're going to have to raise taxes on everyone else as well, because they make up a lot of your income tax. Okay, let's move on to the Sex Pistols, or Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols. So I posted this on my Instagram about a few weeks ago, and it says Republicans are the new punk rock, or being a Republican is the new punk rock. And I got a little bit of pushback for that because people were saying, no, that's not what it is. Punk rock is about anti-establishment and this and that. And my argument was, well, the funny thing is, the irony is, Republicans are now anti-establishment. We're anti the mainstream news. We are not anti the mainstream news, but calling it out. Anti-elitism, anti-career politicians. So in a sense, the tables have turned, and now Republicans are sort of the new anti-establishment, and that's one of the reasons that Trump got into office, because he's not he's not a career politician. So let's read what Johnny said. And Johnny Rotten, if you don't know who he is, the Sex Pistols, they're a huge punk rock band. So that's why I'm bringing him up with that at the same time. So this article is from UCR. I don't know this, Ultimate Classic Rock. That's what it is. I don't know this publication too much. This is just the one I chose. Former Sex Pistols frontman John Lydon, is that how you pronounce it? Better known by his stage name Johnny Rotten, has announced he'll be voting for Trump in the upcoming presidential election. I'd be daft as a Bush not to, the rocker explained during an interview with the UK newspaper, The Observer. He's the only sensible choice now that Biden is up. He's incapable of being the man at the helm. The thoughts echo similar statements Lydon gave to the BBC earlier in the week. Of course I'm voting for Trump, the singer affirmed. Bad person or not, I don't want a politician running this world anymore. He's an individual thinker. I'll give him that for start. He's not the most lovable fellow on God's earth, but I cannot see the opposition as offering me anything by way of solution. So the article goes on to say, though Lydon, who became an American citizen in 2013, has previously supported Democratic presidential candidates Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, he points to the economy as his reason for backing Trump. The rocker, who proudly owns a MAGA hat, is also sympathetic to the accusations that Trump is a racist. I've been accused of the very same thing, Lydon said. So I'm offended for anyone who's called that. The punk icon went on to note that his anti-racism, offering thoughts on the BLM movement and the killing of George Floyd, he says, there's not anyone I know anywhere that wouldn't say that wasn't ghastly, what happened to George Floyd. The musician, okay. It doesn't mean that all police are nasty or all white folks are racist, because all lives matter. So that's what he had to say. So that's 50 Cent for you and Johnny Rotten. Let me know what you guys think about that. Have a good day. Bye.